All right, so we're back and ready to jump into another deep dive.
Yeah, let's do it.
And this time we're looking at a really interesting matchup in the Europa League.
For sure.
FCSB taking on Manchester United.
Yeah, on the surface, you might think, oh, this is going to be a pretty straightforward, one-sided affair. But
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Absolutely, and particularly because of where both these teams are in the standings.
Right.
A top spot is up for grabs.
Yeah.
And I think both of these teams want to avoid that knockout playoff round.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nobody wants to be in that.
Especially for FCSB, this is a big deal. They haven't really been in the later stages of this competition since the 2017-18 season.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of a chance for them to really make a statement and show that they're back.
And they've had a good run of form since returning from the winter break.
Yeah.
Undefeated. And that comeback against Karabas in their last Europa League match.
I mean, talk about a statement win.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, what did you see in that match that kind of stood out to you?
Well, I mean, the resilience. I mean, they were down twice.
Twice.
And they came back both times.
Yeah, and it seemed like tactically they really shifted to a more aggressive press in the second half, and that kind of forced Karabas into making some mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think if they can bring that same kind of energy
Right.
and that same kind of disruption against a team like Manchester United,
Right.
It's going to be a really interesting game.
Absolutely. Now, on the other side, you have Manchester United. They have been winning, but they haven't been dominant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're blowing teams out of the water. What's your read on that? I mean, is there vulnerability there that maybe FCSB can exploit?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think that there's definitely a conversation to be had there. I mean, I think that they've been efficient more than they've been dominant.
Right.
And their defense has been really good.
Okay.
Especially in away games. So I think that, FCSB might see that as an opportunity to kind of disrupt their rhythm, but they're also going to have to find a way to break down a back line that has been really well organized.
So it makes you wonder if it's going to come down to just individual brilliance. Then, speaking of which, are there any standout players on either side that you think could really swing the momentum?
Yeah, I think for FCSB, the player to watch is Adrian Majan. He's finally broken out of that goal drought, that brace against Karabas.
Yeah.
So it's like a weight has been lifted off his shoulders, and I think that confidence could be really dangerous for Manchester United.
Absolutely. And sometimes it just takes that one moment, that one kind of spark to ignite a player's whole game and get them going.
Right.
So what about for Manchester United? Anybody on their side we should keep an eye on?
Yeah, I think Martínez has really stepped up this season.
Okay.
He's not only a rock at the back, defensively, but he's also been contributing goals and assists. So he's a real all-around threat, and I think his versatility could be key, in exploiting any kind of weaknesses that might appear in the FCSB formation.
So let's take a step back here. Look at the big picture. We've got FCSB riding high on home turf, showing that kind of grit that we were talking about, and some tactical flexibility on the other side.
Yeah.
You have Manchester United, a club that is steeped in history, maybe not at their flashiest, but still undeniably effective. What's your gut feeling here? Will experience win out, or can FCSB pull off the upset?
Man, that's a good question. This is what makes it such a compelling matchup, because you look at Manchester United and their track record against Romanian teams. Historically, it's been really strong.
Right.
But then you remember that loss to CFR Cluj back in 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
And it reminds you that these upsets can happen. And FCSB right now, they have the momentum, they have the home advantage, and it seems like they're playing with a renewed belief. So can they translate all of that into, a historic win? I think that's the question.
Yeah, that's the question. That's what we're going to be watching for, I think. And it's one that only the match itself can answer. But here's something else to think about. We talk about the momentum on FCSB's side, but what about the pressure on Manchester United? I mean, there's an expectation that they should win this match, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How much will that weigh on them? Or could it be the thing that actually gives FCSB the psychological edge to seize the moment?
That's a great point. You never know how these things are going to play out.
Yeah, for sure. So that's something for all of you to consider as you watch this one unfold.
Definitely a match you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
My pleasure.
We'll be back soon with more.
Sounds good.
Until then, take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.